Hello and welcome back to our second episode of the day, where we take a look at the second of the double headers today between the Kolkata Knight Riders and the Delhi Capitals, which was played at Sharjah. If you missed the first video of the day, where we talk about the first game between the Rajasthan Royals and the Royal Challengers Bangalore, please check our channel. So next, here's a quick look at the scorecard for the game between the Delhi Capitals and KKR.
We were talking about a team like KKR today, which has been on a roll of sorts, not for a long duration, but over the past few games, where their bowling attack has actually pulled their socks up and has been winning games for them. So coming into this game, they must have felt very confident with their bowling attack, despite the venue being Sharjah. So it was very interesting to see the team combination they went with. They ended up dropping Kuldeep Yadav uh, and brought in an extra batsman in Rahul Tripathi, which was probably justifiable. It also kind of helped the fact that it's better for a bowler like Kuldeep to sit out for a game rather than lose his confidence again in being smashed around, because it doesn't have to be a good shot to get hit for a six. They had some good spell of bowling in patches from Varun Chakravarti, and Andre Russell was a surprise package who bowled a very economical spell and completed his 4 over quota. But then you are up against it when playing in Sharjah. So any batsman on their day, it doesn't have to be the big guns, can actually hit you out of the park. So KKR uh, was something that they were banking on. And in spite of that, they ended up conceding a huge total in excess of 200. So that is something that we don't know whether we should read too much into because of their bowling problems, or was it just because it was Sharjah?
Just to dwell on the Kuldeep factor for a minute, I do agree with you. I think it was good for him to sit out. He didn't need his confidence dented anymore. But I think it is also equally true that probably in the past couple of games, I think Varun Chakravarti has jumped over probably even Sunil Narayan as the first choice spinner. And he's kind of become Karthik's go-to bowler when he needs a wicket. So it was a brave move to bowl him in the 19th over, which didn't work for them, unfortunately, today. But I think increasingly we'll see where if KKR were to play only one spinner, I think it might probably be Varun Chakravarti preferred over Sunil Narayan and Kuldeep. That said, I think it was also a fabulous batting effort from Delhi today. They would have observed Rajasthan, go about setting their totals and chasing down huge numbers, and to come out with an aggressive intent and backing it up with extremely good stroke play was very pleasing to see. Shreyas Iyer was just on fire. He was just knocking it out of the park. Um, there are days when you feel that sometimes he lets his ego come in between and it gets out going for the big shots. But today, I think he really picked he picked his bowlers, picked when he wanted to go after them, and it was quite pleasing to see. He is sort of also maturing into that captain role, so this was a real captain's innings from him.
They would have known that the par score has to be in excess of 200. So it is not easy to come good day in, day out. But somebody or the other has to put their hand up and come to the party. So it was Prithvi Shaw who actually set the tone, and then Shreyas Iyer batted beautifully. Um, and one thing that I would actually just probably deviate out of from beyond their just batting prowess was to highlight that if KKR thought that bowling was their strength, Delhi showed they were just as good and just as potent. So Nokia has to be, Henrik Nokia has to be the find of the tournament in terms of bowling, and he is doing his reputation no harm in racking up performances like this game after game. And Rabada showed his quality when he was bowling to Russell,
Yeah.
and their spin department is actually also having so much depth. So much so that after Ravi Ashwin was declared fit, they had to make way for him by sitting out Akshar Patel, who would have been just as good. So it was great to see Ashwin and Mishra bowl in combination, and how wily Mishra is. After all these years of experience, it actually came to the fore. So it was beautiful to see Delhi make a statement that if you thought we were a one-dimensional side with our batting strength, we are just as good in our bowling department as well. And dare I say, if I was talking so much high praise about Mumbai Indians and their squad depth, I think Delhi Capitals are just as good and probably going strength to strength when it comes all round in this tournament.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think the big question mark, as far as I'm concerned, is the temperament of the Delhi batsmen, especially when they're chasing totals on slightly trickier pitches. On true pitches, that they can go ballistic and chase down probably any total or set a big total, and they've got the bowling to sort of defend it. The question comes is, can they show the required temperament on probably more trickier pitches than Sharjah? That said, if IPL 2020 is going to be remembered for something, I think it's the way batsmen have redefined what total is achievable and what can be achieved in the last 4 or 5 overs. Ever since that Tewatia innings a few days ago in Sharjah, now there's in general there's an expectation in the air that the whichever team is batting at that point in time is going to go ballistic. They are going to go hell for leather and try and score whatever 18-90 in 5 overs now no longer seems like a miracle. It seems like an everyday occurrence. And I think even someone like Rahul Tripathi, who is actually sat out who's not played any game, who didn't have a lot of opportunities in the 2019 edition as well, he could come in and go after Marcus Stoinis late in the innings to sort of support Eoin Morgan and bring some much needed excitement into the game. Because at the end of the third, I think it's somewhere in the 14th over when Tripathi joined Morgan in the middle. The game was, I was thinking that's the game done and dusted. But between the 14th over and the 19th over, right until the point Morgan got out, in those 5 overs, he added 78 runs. And if Morgan could have stayed for a few more deliveries, I think it would have seen them through, which was a bit unfortunate. But nevertheless, I think that's the big takeaway from the first 2 weeks of the IPL so far.
Yes, having brought up that Morgan Tripathi partnership, I would like to know your opinion whether KKR messed up their batting order by actually sending Cummins ahead of their additional batsman, Rahul Tripathi. And then is Karthik batting position too high? And should Morgan be coming up at number 4 to allow their the best finisher of sorts to have as many balls as possible?
I think Karthik probably came ahead of Morgan to maintain the right-left combination. I didn't dislike their idea of sending in Russell early, because I think what we've always, what I've always felt is that Russell, by the time he comes in, which is quite often quite late in the day, the game is as good as over, and that puts too much pressure on him. So even if he gets a go early and knocks off, say, a 40 quickfire 40 of 20 balls, that reduces the burden on the batsman to come. So who's your pick for the man of the match then?
But so it has to be a pick from among the batsmen. So I think I'll go with Shreyas Iyer for the innings that he actually played. It was brutal hitting, and that probably set the tone for the high total that Delhi eventually managed to get.
And I'll probably put in an honorable mention for Harshal Patel as well, who I thought was excellent in the middle overs. Fun fact: when I was watching the game, I think Shikhar Dhawan took one of the catches, and he celebrated in his usual Gabbar style, slapping his thigh. And I heard Lakshman Sivaramakrishnan refer to it as the thigh fight. I don't know if that description has been used before, but I heard it for the first time certainly, and I found it quite funny.
Quite appropriate too.
Yeah, absolutely. And it left me wondering, okay, why didn't someone think of this earlier? Looking ahead at the second game tomorrow, which is going to be between the Chennai Super Kings and the Kings 11 Punjab. What's the prediction for that? Two teams which are at the bottom of the table right now, which are struggling to put together a sequence of wins.
And probably lacking extremely in confidence, both of them. So, okay, I know your choice is going to be CSK, but I think there is no conflict here because I'm going to go with Kings 11.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with CSK. I think they'll come good tomorrow. All right, that's a wrap on tonight's episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this episode, please like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to our channel to keep more videos coming your way. And stay tuned for more episodes throughout the rest of the tournament. We'll see you again tomorrow. Cheers.